Welcome to another episode of Asia Unscripted. I am here in District 7. I am at the SC Vivo Mall. This is kind of their outdoor area, which most of it is closed. It's usually a play area, but they're not called the Sky Park, but they're not operating right now because of COVID restrictions. So, still keeping it safe. There's only one case in the whole city, but schools are either canceled or they're online right now. So there is no in-person learning at the moment. As you can see over here, the cinema is closed. There's no cinemas allowed right now. They don't mess around. Even with one case in a city of several million, they'll still shut it down. So, and bars are shut down, karaoke is shut down, gatherings are limited to 30 people here in Ho Chi Minh City. If you go up north to Hanoi, it's limited to 10 people. They have a bigger problem up in Hanoi right now than we do here in Ho Chi Minh City. So, at least the malls are still open. Anyways, you guys asked me about what's going on around Asia with this pandemic and what are the new restrictions. So, let's get started. So, Vietnam is still the same. The only way you can get in here is if you are a quote-unquote foreign expert or an investor. So if you're just trying to come in here as a tourist, it's not going to happen anytime soon. It doesn't matter if you are vaccinated or not. They're just not doing it. Thailand, for a while, they were letting vaccinated people quarantine for 7 days. Well, Thailand has had thousands of cases per day for the last several weeks now. So they went back to a 14-day quarantine. You can still get in there as a tourist, along with some other requirements. But you need to quarantine for 14 days, vaccinated or not, it doesn't matter. This is their biggest outbreak that they've had, and they're not playing around. So you can still get into Thailand at this time. Check with your local Thai embassy or consulate about what the restrictions are at this time. Philippines. They're still not letting tourists in. That's not going to happen for a long time. They're still getting several thousand cases a day. They're even restricting their OFWs from coming home. In Cebu, today and tomorrow, they're not allowing any international flights to land. Oh, look at that. The fitness center is closed. Because they just don't have enough room. There's just not enough room, quarantine space in Cebu. So, today and tomorrow, they are restricting foreigners and Filipinos from coming into Cebu. They just don't have the space for them. You know, some people think that every hotel can be used as a quarantine hotel, which is not true. To be a quarantine hotel here, Thailand, the Philippines, you got to meet certain requirements. So not every hotel can be a quarantine hotel. So you have a limited amount of hotels. So when they're full, they're full. They can't just open another one. So yeah, the Philippines, they're letting people back in under the SRRV program. Balikbayan's allowed back in. You have to have a legal tie to the Philippines pretty much to be able to get in right now. And it requires, depending on your status, it requires some work on your part to get all the permissions to get back in. For example, if you're under the SRRV program and you want to get back in, you need to get a document from the Department of Foreign Affairs or the DFA giving you permission to come back in. People online have been saying that's taken a couple of months to happen. So, yeah, it's not so easy for a lot of people. Let's see. Malaysia is under another lockdown again. Their number of cases have shot back up. They're not letting anybody back in anytime soon. Singapore's had some new cases. They were supposed to start a travel bubble with Hong Kong, but that's seeming unlikely right now. Singapore and Hong Kong have been doing pretty well, and they don't want to rock the boat. So, yeah. Indonesia, I still believe you can get in there under a business visa, but you need to quarantine for at least 5 days and have a couple of tests. But that's an option. Let's see. Taiwan's having an upswing in cases again. So they're starting to freak out over there. South Korea, my friend, the King Lee Wei, that's his channel name, but his name is King. He mentioned that soon vaccinated people, depending on the vaccine you have, will be able to visit South Korea without a quarantine. So that's big news. If you want to get back to Asia, you're not wanting to quarantine, all you need to do is get fully vaccinated, and it's either sometime this month or next month, you'll be able to get into South Korea without a quarantine. And for Americans like me, you get 90 days in Korea, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it's 90 days when you arrive. So you could, hang out in South Korea for 3 months and see what else opens up. That's a possibility. In Japan, they're not sure about the Olympics now. There's a pretty good chance that the Olympics will just get canceled altogether because of a big rise in cases there. Some foreign athletes are afraid to go there. Some of them have already canceled. So I think the Olympics might be a no-go until the Winter Olympics next year. Besides that, that's the majority of the countries that you guys care about, and that's what's going on now. Again, things can change. They do change day by day. They updated quarantine statuses in the Philippines. Metro Manila is now under a GCQ with quote-unquote heightened restrictions. So you can look online and see what those heightened restrictions are. Let's see. Most of the rest of the country is under GCQ or MGCQ. There are a few spots that are under MECQ, like Zamboanga City and a few other spots, but things are looking up for the Philippines. For how long? Who knows? So hopefully, I'm still hopeful that people can get back into Asia this year. You can if you want to go to Korea. You can if you want to go to Thailand and quarantine. You can if you want to go to Indonesia and quarantine. So those are just some options for you. I'm gonna get some lunch here at Chili's. This is the only Chili's here in Vietnam. It's the same Chili's as in the States with the USA prices, but I'm digging some Chili's right now. Alright, so stay safe out there. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like. Or even don't, if you dislike the channel, if you dislike the video, hit dislike, I don't care. Keep safe out there, and I will see you guys again soon. So for Jason, or for Asia Unscripted, this is Jason, and I'll see you guys next time.